A thick cloud of red smog hung overhead, a choking fog that blotted out the sky. From the ground, the heavens were no longer visible. The pollution seeped into every city. Factories never slept now, their machines grinding without pause since full automation had taken over. Homelessness soared to historic highs with no sign of relief. Those still employed were called lucky, though none of them would agree. Workdays stretched 18 hours on average, stripped of health insurance, stripped of benefits, all for wages too meager to sustain a life. A rare few, skilled in repairing robotics or coding the systems that kept automation alive, earned just enough to scrape by. Even they struggled, bound by exhaustion and the barest minimum of support. The air itself had turned against humanity. Rain fell as acid, burning crops where they stood. Farmers watched entire fields wither into black husks, while famine spread its shadow across the globe. And as seas rose higher, desperate cities built colossal sea walls, last barriers against a drowning world. But there was one hope left, the digital realm systems. Soon to be released, they promised escape, purpose, even survival. Anyone could play, earn in-game credits, and spend them in the real world. School had let out early. Nearly an hour passed before the bus groaned to a stop in the brothers' neighborhood. Damien and Quinn stepped off and looked back at it. Once its paint had been a brilliant yellow, bright enough to catch the sun. Now it was only a husk, its skin flaked and peeling, rust spreading like rot. The machine wheezed behind them, coughing smoke into air already thick with poison. "Come on, it's been out since this morning," Quinn shouted, sprinting ahead, his voice cutting through the silence of the dead road. "Wait!" Damien gasped, stumbling after him. His side burned, and he nearly doubled over. "I'm not made for this." He slowed, letting his brother's shadow slip further ahead, and stared at the pavement beneath his feet. The road was cratered and scarred, as if gods had rained fire from above. Houses stood hollow and blind, windows shattered and patched with rotting boards. Paint had long since stripped away, leaving bare wood weathered into bone. Mother used to say it had been beautiful here once. Gardens, painted porches, laughter spilling out of open windows. Looking at it now, Damien could not believe such a place had ever existed. And yet a thought lingered. In only a few hours he would leave this ruin behind. Even if the world he entered was digital, even if it was only an illusion, it would be better than this breathing grave. "Damien!" Quinn's voice echoed from the house ahead. He stood in the doorway, framed by splintered wood. The door sagged in its rotted frame, windows nailed shut, boards warped and swollen by rains that killed instead of nourished. "I'm coming!" Damien called back, though his eyes lingered on the yard. The grass had died long ago, brittle stalks curled like fists in defeat. The soil was blackened, soured. Nothing had grown here in years. The rain had seen to that. Inside, the floor groaned beneath his weight. Wallpaper sagged in strips, curling down toward the carpet. "Mom!" Quinn hollered, climbing the staircase. He checked their room first. Two bare mattresses lay flat on the floor, boxes stacked in the corner stamped with digital realm systems. His gray eyes widened, a smile tugging at his lips. Damien pushed open the bathroom door and froze. Their mother lay slumped on the bed, her face pale and drawn, her body marked by years of sickness. "Mom!" His voice cracked as he rushed to her side. Quinn thundered down the stairs to find Damien cradling her limp body in his arms. "Get the medicine!" Damien barked. Quinn bolted upstairs again, frantic. He tore through the bedroom until his gaze landed on the breathing mask on the dresser. Pulling the canister free, he shook it, empty. His chest tightened. He looked around, heart hammering, then remembered the bathroom. "You're going to be okay, Mom," Damien whispered, easing her onto the couch. Quinn returned with the mask, fumbling as he fitted it over her mouth and nose. Damien pressed the release valve. A hiss of white vapor spilled into the mask, vanishing as she inhaled. "Come on, Quinn," Damien said, his voice steady but distant. "Let's fix something to eat." But, Mom," Quinn's voice wavered. "She's going to be fine, I promise." Damien's words came cold, detached, hollow even to his own ears. She looked so pale, so fragile. The air was poisoning her lungs, and without the medicine she would not survive. But medicine cost a fortune, and in this merciless world credits were scarce. "I got you," he whispered, patting her knee as she drifted into uneasy sleep, mask clutched to her face. After a meager bowl of noodles, Quinn asked, "Damien, where's the digital realm?" "Last night Dad said it would be downstairs when we got home from school," Damien replied. "Want to put the undersuits on and play?" Quinn asked, hope flickering in his voice. Damien grinned. "What do you think?" They pulled on their undersuits. Damien's was sleek black, traced with burnished gold, while Quinn's shimmered black with a ghostly luminous blue. The fabric hugged every contour, warm and seamless. "It feels like a second skin, doesn't it?" Damien said, tugging lightly at the sleeve. "Yeah," Quinn breathed. "It's weird. I didn't even notice it until now." "I don't know how the digital realm exists, or how strange these suits are," Damien admitted quietly. "It just does, come on." The floor groaned beneath their steps as they headed for the basement. "Did you set up the Videoverse account?" Quinn asked. "Yeah, last night, but I haven't named it yet." Damien stopped mid-step. Their mother sat at the table, forcing down noodles with trembling hands. "Mom, are you feeling better?" Quinn asked softly. "I'm fine, boys. Go play your games." Her voice rasped, breaking into a cough. A thin line of blood stained her lips. "We love you, Mom," Quinn whispered. "I'm fine," she repeated firmly, irritation covering fear. "Go." Damien nodded. "Okay, what about the Indominus brothers?" "Yeah, I like that." Quinn's eyes lingered on her. She gave him a weak nod. The basement walls gleamed with fresh white paint, rubbery in texture. Damien frowned. "When did Dad paint the basement?" "I don't know. Look," Quinn cried out, pointing. And there it was, the digital realm system, snow white, sleek, futuristic. Twin pods side by side, their lids transparent glass traced with glowing blue hexagons. They looked enormous, barely fitting beneath the basement ceiling. Between them rose a tower-like column, stretching upward like the spine of a living machine. "It's beautiful," Damien whispered. "Yeah, it is. Which pod do you want?" Quinn asked, eyes shining. "I'll take the right." "All right, let me finish the Videoverse account," Damien typed at the battered computer. "It's official. We're the Indominus brothers. And if we can name our characters, their last names will be Indominus too." "This is awesome!" Quinn cried, his voice full of unrestrained joy. "It is," Damien said softly, smiling faintly at his brother's excitement. Quinn pressed a button. The pod lid hissed open. He climbed inside. Damien followed, lowering himself into the cushioned seat. The lining molded to him instantly, shaping to every angle of his body. "How do I close the lid?" he muttered, spotting the red button near his hand. He pressed it. The glass lowered, sealing with a hiss. "Neural link install, waiting." The voice was feminine, sterile, yet heavy with something that made his skin prickle. Then the pain struck. A spike drove into the base of his skull, sharp, merciless, boring into flesh and bone. His body convulsed, but the suit locked him in place. He tried to scream, but no sound came. His throat seized, his breath stolen. Every nerve ignited with fire, his vision fracturing into shards of red and white. It was as if something was carving a path into his very mind. "Neural link install complete." The words echoed like whispers in an endless corridor, faint, distant, not entirely human. Then silence. The agony dissolved, ripped away in an instant, leaving only emptiness. His body went slack. His thoughts scattered like ash in the wind. And then, white. White without depth, white without form, a void that stretched forever. Damien floated weightless as the last shreds of the poisoned world fell away.